Hello everyone, welcome to a new section. In this section, I am here to discuss about the economics of power generation. The electrical energy is cannot be sensed by our five sense organs. It cannot be sensed using our eyes or nose or through skin or through ears, right? So it's very challenging to work as an electrical engineer. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe as we upload new videos all the time. Now let's jump in and get started. The load variations over a day comprise three components: a steady component known as base load, a varying component whose daily patterns depends upon the time of day, weather, season, etc. A purely random varying component of relatively small amplitude. Let's discuss some of the characteristic features of generation and transmission. The characteristics of a daily load curve on a gross basis are indicated by peak load and the time of its occurrence. First, load factor, which is defined by average load divided by maximum demand.
It can also be defined by actual number of units generated divided by the product of maximum load and the total number of hours. The average load determines the energy consumption over the day, while the peak load along with considerations of standby capacity determines plant capacity for meeting the load. Average load is always less than the maximum demand. If the average load is nearer to maximum demand, then the effective utilization resources will occur, which will result in saving in fuel. Hence, running costs will be reduced. Next, diversity factor. This is defined as the sum of individual of maximum demands by maximum load on the system. It is always greater than 1. Installed capacity of a power system is based on the simultaneous maximum demand on the system.
If the simultaneous maximum demand is less, then installed capacity is less.
And hence fixed cost is reduced. Hence the load factor and diversity factors must be high. A high diversity factor could be obtained by first one, providing incentives to farmers and or some industries to use electricity in the night or light load periods. Second, arranging the office timings. Third, providing two-part tariff in which consumer has to pay an amount dependent on the maximum demand he makes plus a charge for each unit of energy consumed. Next is plant capacity factor, which is defined as the actual energy produced divided by maximum possible energy that could have been produced, which is also defined by average demand divided by installed capacity. The next is plant use factor, which is equal to the actual energy produced in kilowatt hour by the product of plant capacity in kilowatt and time in hours the plant has been in operation. The next we can discuss about the tariff. The cost of electric power is normally given by the expression A plus B kilowatts plus C into kilowatt hour per annum, where A is a fixed charge for the utility, independent of the power output, B depends on the maximum demand on the system, C depends on the units produced and therefore on the fuel charges and the wages of the station staff. Next, problems facing Indian power industry and its solution. The electricity requirements of India have increased day by day, and the demand has been running ahead of supply. As compared to some advanced countries, electricity generation and transmission processes in India are very inefficient. Some of the choices that have been taken by Indian power industry to meet the demands are: first, solar energy and other non-conventional sources of energy need to be given some special importance, so that the depleting fossil fuel resources may be conserved. Second, transmission lines were series and shunt compensated to carry huge blocks of power with greater stability. The next, by constructing HVDC links in the country, DC lines can carry considerably more power at the same voltage and require fewer conductors. The next is energy conservation. Energy conservation can be achieved by: first one, use energy efficient motors to avoid wasteful electricity uses. Second, reducing unnecessary high lightning levels, oversized motors, etc. The next we can discuss load management. Most of the potential for load control lies in the domestic sector by providing first modified tariff structures that encourage the individual customers to readjust their own electric use schedules. Second, direct electrical control of appliances in the form of remote timer control on or off switches. The next, ripple control has been tried in Europe. The next, remote kilowatt hour meter reading by carrier systems is being hired. The next, maintenance. Management and plan utilization factors of existing plants must be improved. Maintenance must be on schedule rather than on emergency. For planning the operation, improvement and expansion of a power system engineer needs load flow studies, short circuit studies, and stability studies, and he has to know the principles of economic load dispatch and load frequency control. All these problems are dealt with in the next few sections after some basic concepts in the theory of transmission lines are discussed. Before moving to that, we will discuss how the steps adopted for energy management works in an MNC. Let the MNC named as ABC. Energy is one of the key drivers in many industries with a structured approach to energy management. It is possible to bring in reductions in energy cost and drive energy efficiency towards meeting sustainability targets. Some of the major business challenges. First one, high energy cost and lack of clarity on how much energy is being spent. Second, lack of digitization and information are not delivered or conveyed accurately. This can prevent decision making. Third, no intelligence in analytics and spending too much of time for analyzing and monitoring the energy use. The next, manual reporting, that is dependence on ground staffs for the informations. Assets such as chillers, HVAC, generators, elevators, sewage treatment plants, and solar power plants are managed using IoT solution using real-time monitoring or command center, and demand time management and predictive maintenance, so that it leads to 55% of cumulative reduction in per capita kilowatt hour consumption. XYZ has constructed a number of green buildings. 44% of company's electricity comes from renewable energy sources. It has developed large community-based carbon offset program, which in turn provides benefits to the socio-economic development of rural India. Digitizing process includes first one, site aggregator, which includes command and control, alarm management, fault detection and diagnostic, reporting, systems or device information. The next, region aggregator includes consolidator, sites data. The next, advanced energy analytics platform, which includes operation and maintenance, module-wise comparison, site-wise comparison, centralized reporting, consumption behavior analytics, real-time analytics. Impacts of saving of electricity. First one, saving of billions of kilowatt hour of electricity and also in electricity bills in a range of $1 million. The next, reduction of huge amount of carbon dioxide emissions. Now let's discuss the previous year's civil service questions and gate questions. First question came in civil service examination 2001, that is incremental fuel cost in rupees per megawatt hour for a plant consisting of 2 units are given by df1 by dp1 is equal to 0.4 p1 plus 400 and df2 divided by dp2 is equal to 0.48 p2 plus 320. The allocation of loads P1 and P2 between the units 1 and 2 respectively for minimum cost of generation for a total load of 900 megawatt is first one 200 megawatt and 700 megawatt, second one 300 megawatt and 600 megawatt, third one 400 megawatt and 500 megawatt, and fourth one 500 megawatt and 400 megawatt. I have my own limitations to write each and every steps in here, so I will briefly explain the answers. For economic power generation, or we can say minimum cost, the incremental cost of 2 units will be equal, that is df1 divided by dp1 is equal to df2 divided by dp2. That is 0.4 P1 plus 400 is equal to 0.48 P2 plus 320. By simplifying, we get minus P1 plus 1.2 P2 is equal to 200. In the question, it is given that total load P1 plus P2 is equal to 900 megawatt. Solving equations 1 and 2, we get P2 is equal to 500 megawatt and P1 is equal to 400 megawatt. So the answer will be option C. So let's move to the next question. That is question came in GATE 1985. In order to have a lower cost of electrical energy generation, A, the load factor and diversity factor should be low. B, the load factor should be low but diversity factor should be high. C, the load factor should be high but diversity factor should be low. D, the load factor and diversity factor should be high. I think I have already discussed everything in details and no need of further explanation in this topic. So the answer is option D. The load factor and diversity factor should be high. So let's move to the next question. That is question came in 2007. The incremental cost curves in rupees per megawatt hour for two generators supplying a common load of 700 megawatt are shown in the figures. The maximum and minimum generation limits are also indicated. The optimum generation schedule is. From the figure, it's given that incremental fuel cost of generator A for maximum power generation is equal to 600 rupees per megawatt hour. Incremental fuel cost of generator B for minimum power generation is equal to 650 rupees per megawatt hour, as the incremental fuel cost for generation of generator A is less as compared to that of generator B. Hence, we can operate the generator A at its maximum output of 450 megawatt and the remaining will be generated by generator B. So, option C is the right answer. So, let's move to the next question. That is question came in GATE 1999. An industrial consumer has a daily load pattern of 200 kilowatt, 0.8 lakh for 12 hours and 1000 kilowatt for UPF for 12 hours. The load factor is option A 0.5, option B 0.75, option C 0.6 and option D 2. We know that load factor is defined as the actual number of units generated divided by the product of maximum load and the total number of hours, which is equal to 2000 into 12 plus 1000 into 12 all divided by 2000 into 24, which is equal to 0.75. So the answer is option B 0.75. So let's move to the next question. That is question asked in GATE 2000. The incremental cost characteristics of two generators delivering 200 megawatt are as follows. dF1 divided by dP1 is equal to 20 plus 0.1 P1 and dF2 divided by dP2 is equal to 16 plus 0.2 P2. For economic operation, the generations P1 and P2 should be option A is equal to P1 is equal to P2 is equal to 100 megawatt. Option B is equal to P1 is equal to 80 megawatts and P2 is equal to 120 megawatts. Option C is equal to P1 is equal to 200 megawatts. P2 is equal to 0 megawatts. Option D is equal to P1 is equal to 120 megawatts. P2 is equal to 80 megawatts. Then the answer is, for economic operation, the incremental cost characteristic should be equal. That is dF1 divided by dP1 is equal to dF2 divided by dP2. That is 20 plus 0.1 P1 is equal to 16 plus 0.2 P2. By simplifying, we get an equation as 4 is equal to 0.2 P2 minus 0.1 P1. And from the equation, it is given as P1 plus P2 is equal to 200 megawatt. By solving equation 1 and 2, we obtain P1 is equal to 120 megawatt and P2 is equal to 80 megawatt. So let's move to the next question. That is question came in GATE 2003. Incremental fuel cost in some
appropriate unit for a power plant consisting of 3 generating units are IC1 equal to 20 plus 0.3 P1, IC2 is equal to 30 plus 0.4 P2, IC3 equal to 30. Assume that all the 3 units are operating all the time. Minimum and maximum loads on each unit are 50 megawatts and 300 megawatt respectively. If the plant is operating on economic load, dispatched to supply the load power demand of 700 megawatt, the power generated by each unit is option A, P1 is equal to 242.86 megawatt and P2 is equal to 157.14 megawatt. and P3 is equal to 300 megawatt. Option B, P1 is equal to 157.14 megawatt, P2 is equal to 242.86 megawatt, and P3 is equal to 300 megawatt. Option C, P1 is equal to 300 megawatts, P2 is equal to 300 megawatts, P3 is equal to 100 megawatts. Option D is given as P1 is equal to 242.86 megawatt, P2 is equal to 157.14 megawatt, P3 is equal to 300 megawatt. In the question, it's given that the total power demand is equal to 700 megawatts. That is P1 plus P2 plus P3 is equal to 700 megawatts. Let it be equation 1. And the incremental fuel cost of three generating units are IC1 is equal to 20 plus 0.3 P1, IC2 is equal to 30 plus 0.4 P2, IC3 is equal to 30. Since IC3 doesn't depends on power generation, let's take P3 as maximum load. That is P3 is equal to 300 megawatts. Then we have P1 plus P2 is equal to 700 minus 300, which is equal to 400 megawatts. Let it be equation 2. So for economic operation, the incremental fuel cost of generating units 1 and 2 will be equal. That is IC1 is equal to IC2. That is 20 plus 0.3 P1 is equal to 30 plus 0.4 P2. Let it be equation 3. By solving equation 2 and 3, we get P1 is equal to 242.86 megawatt and P2 is equal to 157.14 megawatt. So the answer will be option A. That is P1 is equal to 242.86 megawatt, P2 is equal to 157.14 megawatt and P3 is equal to 300 megawatts. So let's move to the next question. That is the question came in GATE 2005. A load center is at an equidistant from the two thermal generating stations G1 and G2 are shown in the figure. The fuel cost characteristics of the generating stations are given by F1 is equal to A plus B into P1 plus C into P1 square. Is given in rupees per hour. F2 is equal to A plus B into P2 plus 2C into P2 square rupees per hour, where P1 and P2 are the generations in megawatt of G1 and G2 respectively. For most economic generation to meet 300 megawatt of load, P1 and P2 respectively are A 150, 150, B 100, 200, C 200, 100, D 175, 125. In the question is given that the fuel cost characteristics of the generating station are F1 is equal to A plus B into P1 plus C into P1 square rupees per hour. F2 is equal to A plus B into P2 plus 2C into P2 square rupees per hour. So we have to find the incremental fuel cost of F1 and F2. That is dF1 by dP1 is equal to B plus 2C P1. dF2 by dP2 is equal to B plus 4C P2. So for the economic generation, dF1 by dP1 is equal to dF2 by dP2. That is 2P2 is equal to P1. That is, let it be equation 1. And we know that P1 plus P2 is equal to 300 megawatts and let it be equation 2. So by solving equation 1 and 2, we get P2 is equal to 100 megawatt and P1 is equal to 200 megawatt. So option C is the correct answer. So let's move to the next question. That is a question which is came in 2008. A lossless power system has to serve a load of 250 megawatt. There are two generators G1 and G2 in the system with cost curves C1 and C2 respectively defined as follows. C1 Pg1 is equal to Pg1 plus 0.055 Pg1 square. C2 is equal to 3 into Pg2 plus 0.03 Pg2 square, where Pg1 and Pg2 are the megawatt injections from generator G1 and G2 respectively. Thus, the minimum cost dispatch will be A. Pg1 is equal to 250 megawatts, Pg2 is equal to 0 megawatts. B. Pg1 is equal to 150 megawatt, Pg2 is equal to 100 megawatts. This question is very similar to the previous question. Find the incremental fuel cost from the given cost curves C1 and C2. That is dC1 divided by dPg1 is equal to 1 plus 2 into 0.055 Pg1. Let it be equation 1. And dC2 divided by dPg2 is equal to 3 plus 2 into 0.03 into Pg2. That let it be equation 2. For economic operation, dC1 divided by dPg1 is equal to dC2 divided by dPg2. So, that is 0.11 Pg1 is equal to 2 plus 0.06 Pg2. Let it be equation 1. And Pg1 plus Pg2 is equal to 250. Let it be equation 2. Solving 1 and 2, we get Pg1 is equal to 100 megawatts and Pg2 is equal to 150 megawatts. So, option C is the right answer. Let's move to the next question. Three generators are feeding a load of 100 megawatt. The details of the generator's rating, efficiency and regulation are shown below. Generator 1, 100 megawatts, 20%, 0.02 per unit. Generator 2, 100 megawatts, 30%, 0.04 per unit. Generator 3, 100 megawatts, 40%, 0.03 per unit. In the event of increased load power demand, which of the following will happen? Option A, all the generators will share equal power. Option B, generator 3 will share more power compared to generator 1. Option C, generator 1 will share more power compared to generator 2. Option D, generator 2 will share more power compared to generator 3. So we can explain the answer of the question. In the given data, all the generators are having a rating of 100 megawatt. The load sharing is independent of the efficiency of alternators. Generator with less value of regulation will share more load. So option C is the right answer. So let's move to the next question. The question asked in the GATE 2011. A load center of 120 megawatt deliver power from two power stations connected by 220 kilowatt transmission line of 25 kilometer and 75 kilometer are shown in the figure below. The three generator G1, G2 and G3 are of 100 megawatt capacity each and have identical fuel cost characteristics. The minimum loss generation schedule for supplying the 120 megawatt load is option A, P1 is equal to 80 megawatt plus losses, P2 is equal to 20 megawatt, P3 is equal to 20 megawatt plus losses. Option B, P1 is equal to 60 megawatt, P2 is equal to 30 megawatt plus losses, P3 is equal to 30 megawatt. Option C, P1 is equal to 40 megawatt, P2 is equal to 40 megawatt, P3 is equal to 40 megawatt plus losses. Option D, P1 is equal to 30 megawatt plus losses, P2 is equal to 45 megawatt, P3 is equal to 45 megawatt. From the question, it is clear that G1 is nearer to the load center, whereas generation 2 and 3 are away from the load. To reduce the losses, more power is contributed from generation 1. P1 is equal to 80 plus losses, P2 is equal to 20 megawatt, P3 is equal to 20 megawatt. So option A is the correct answer. Let's move to the next question, that is question asked in GATE 2014. The fuel cost functions of two power plants are plant P1, that is C1 is equal to 0.05 Pg1 square plus A Pg1 plus B. Plant 2 C2 is equal to 0.10 Pg2 square plus 3A Pg2 plus 2B, where Pg1 and Pg2 are the generator powers of two plants and A and B are the constants. If the two plants optimally share 1000 megawatt load at incremental fuel cost of 100 rupees per megawatt hour, the ratio of load shared by plants P1 and P2 is option A 1 is to 4, option B 2 is to 3, option C 3 is to 2, option D 4 is to 1. In the question, it is given that P1 plus P2 is equal to 1000 megawatts. Let it be equation 1. Fuel cost are C1 is equal to 0.05 Pg1 square plus A Pg1 plus B and C2 is equal to 0.10 Pg2 square plus 3A Pg2 plus 2B. Their incremental fuel cost are dC1 divided by dPg1 is equal to 0.1 Pg1 plus A, which is equal to 100 rupees per megawatt hour, and dC2 divided by dPg2 is equal to 0.2 Pg2 plus 3A, which is equal to 100 rupees per megawatt hour. From this, A is equal to 100 minus 0.1 Pg1. Let it be equation 1. Then substitute equation 1 in 2. We get 0.2 Pg2 plus 300 minus 0.3 Pg1 is equal to 100. Let it be equation 4. Substitute 3 in 4. We get P2 is equal to 200 megawatt and P1 is equal to 800 megawatt. So the ratio will be P1 is to P2 is equal to 4 is to 1. So let's move to the next question. This question is asked in GATE 2015. Consider the economic dispatch problem for a power plant having two generating units. The fuel cost in rupees per megawatt hour along with the generation limits for the two units are given below. C1 of P1 is equal to 0.01 P1 square plus 30 P1 plus 10. Let the limits be defined as 100 megawatt less than or equal to P1 less than or equal to 150 megawatt. C2 of P2 is equal to 0.05 P2 square plus 10 P2 plus 10. Its limits are 100 megawatt less than or equal to P2 less than or equal to 180 megawatt. The incremental cost in rupees per megawatt hour of the power plant when it supplies 200 megawatt is. Given that P1 plus P2 is equal to 200 megawatt, let it be equation 1. dC1 divided by dP1 is equal to 0.02 P1 plus 30 and dC2 divided by dP2 is equal to 0.10 P2 plus 10. So dC1 divided by dP1 is equal to dC2 divided by dP2, that is 0.02 P1 plus 20 is equal to 0.10 P2 and P1 is equal to 200 minus P2. Let it be equation 2. P1 is equal to 0 megawatt and P2 is equal to 200 megawatt. The limit of P1 is 100 megawatt to 150 megawatt and the limit of P2 is 100 megawatt to 180 megawatt. So we can't take P2 is equal to 200 megawatt and P1 is equal to 0 megawatt. So let's P1 is equal to 100 megawatt since it's minimum value and P2 is equal to 100 megawatt. When we substitute the values in the incremental fuel cost equations, we get IC1 is equal to 32 rupees per megawatt hour and IC2 is equal to 20 rupees per megawatt hour. Since G2 is having control over its power generation, since any increase in load, G2 is get supported up to 200 megawatt. Let's move to the next question, that is question asked in GATE 2015. The incremental cost in rupees per megawatt hour of operating two generating units are functions of their respective powers P1 and P2 in megawatt and are given by dC1 divided by dP1 is equal to 0.2 P1 plus 50. dC2 divided by dP2 is equal to 0.24 P2 plus 40, where 20 megawatt less than or equal to P1 less than or equal to 150 megawatt and 20 megawatt less than or equal to P2 less than or equal to 150 megawatt. For a certain load demand, P1 and P2 have been chosen such that dC1 divided by dP1 is equal to 76 rupees per megawatt hour and dC2 divided by dP2 is equal to 68.8 rupees per megawatt hour. If the generations are rescheduled to minimize the total cost, then P2 is. So let's discuss the answer. It's given in the question that dC1 divided by dP1 is equal to 0.2 P1 plus 50, which is equal to 76 rupees per megawatt hour. We get P1 is equal to 130 megawatt. dC2 divided by dP2 is equal to 0.24 P2 plus 40, which is equal to 68.8 rupees per megawatt hour. Then P2 is equal to 120 megawatt. So P1 plus P2 is equal to 250 megawatt. Let it be equation 1. For minimum cost, dC1 divided by dP1 is equal to dC2 divided by dP2. Let it be equation 2. By solving equation 1 and 2, we get P1 is equal to 113.63 and P2 is equal to 136.364 megawatt. So P2 will be 136.36 megawatt. Hey guys, I hope you can follow my videos. Don't forget to share it with others, and for more basic knowledge on electrical, keep watching the channel. Thank you and have a nice day.